Let's work. Turn it down and listen to the experts. Gotta give a shout to the Talking Junk Network. Showing love, hosting battles, playing dope joints. The break room topics always staying on point. Never disappoint. We'll never need a makeover. We here for the takeover like Jehovah. Talking Junk break room take over on the podcast. Dropping bomb facts on demand like Comcast. Now drop a comment whenever they're going live. Hit the YouTube channel right now and go subscribe. Peace.
Talking Junk Network,
where entertainment lives.
Welcome to Talking Junk.
I'm your host, Jason Melendez.
Live now every week.
Talking Junk.
A multitude of professionals in different aspects, different walks of life.
You have to come on and talk junk like a normal person.
Me and my team, whenever we link up, they wanna be drink up. We sit down, relax and have few glasses when there's things to think about. Like I'm nice with the boss when I tend to the boss and I'm not talking drink ups. So tell the bartender that tend to the bar to please pass me a big cup up. And tell that waitress is waiting on us to put a little ice in it. Now watch the ice become weightless like the spaceships that I be sitting in. Now wait and listen, no, they're waiting for that tropical twist that'll tickle your taste buds. Now taste some. Yo, I insist it's the drizzle.
Welcome to Talking Junk. The podcast comes to you live every Friday night with a great guest, great information, great experiences, but most importantly, a great story. Tonight, we have a treat for you, though. Not only a great guest, but a reoccurring co-host. Welcome back, my friend Talin. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, sir. It's nice to be able to make it onto one of the interviews. It's been quite a while. For those of you who maybe know, we used to do these together all the time, but things changed throughout the years, and hopefully we'll be able to get back on that, but I'm happy to be here today.
People got bills to pay.
It's nice to be on the show that I'm part of the intro music, you know?
Right. Some people may not know that, but now you do. Well, it's great to have you back, though. It's great to have you back, and we have a great guest tonight.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Our guest tonight is a fully accredited and certified Akashic Records reader, certified Reiki master, certified energy psychologist, psychic empath, and she helps people improve their lives by reprogramming how their minds think. She can read the past, the present, and the possible futures within the Akashic Records. She can also do one-on-one reads with anyone. She can help people get the solutions to be free, to feel free and love themselves, to know their path and what the universe wants for them. And right now, she'll tell you what the universe wants you to do is to like, share, and subscribe, but make sure you share it now so you can hear what Miss Raven Willow has to say. How you doing tonight, Raven?
Welcome to the show.
This is awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You got Jason and Dasheen.
I don't use my regular name on here. Because I'm on my phone, I couldn't really change it like that. but because I'm usually on the break room, and there we get a little raunchy, a little crazy, so I don't usually use the name.
Don't worry, I got it.
But
Okay.
yeah, he'll fix it. But yeah, happy. There we go.
Colin.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Yes.
That works. Yeah.
But
So,
glad to have you here.
yeah, this is super exciting. We've been waiting for this for a while. It's been scheduled out, but it's Friday the 13th, and there's a solar eclipse coming. Like, hey,
Right. What's more perfect than that?
I know it's an exciting October. Like, give it all to us this month. All right.
So how did you start getting into all of this, or was it just something that came natural?
Well, it's something that came natural. I've definitely had it ever since I was a kid. So, obviously, you start out seeing dead people and you're scared to death and you don't know what's going on. But, as you grow up and become acquainted with things more and mature, then it's not so scary anymore. I mean, it can be definitely scary at times. I'm not going to lie, but yeah.
Is it kind of hard to get adjusted to that feeling of dread around you all the time?
See, I don't have a feeling of dread around me all the time. I
Well,
protect myself very, very much.
When you started, maybe I should have worded it better, because I know when you start, you kind of have to learn how to protect yourself, and especially if you don't have somebody there to teach you in the same art style as your talents need. Was it kind of hard to adjust to that, closing that door?
Yeah, and of course, I didn't know what was going on with me when I was little, and even a teenager. Like, I knew I had gifts, but I didn't know how to control them or what to do with them or any of that stuff. But it like took me into adulthood, and then because I'm an empath and I can read people and their energy, it took me getting around a couple of people that are now very close friends and just being around them and feeling their energy. And I'm like, wait a minute, not everybody is angry and snarly and, grumpy all the time. Like, this is like a really playful, like peaceful, calm place to be around these people. And I was like, it can be different. And so then I started to seek that instead of, all the dark, creepy stuff. Because, of course, in your 20s, you're like, let's go ghost hunting. Let's go on a paranormal, whatever thing.
Let's play the Ouija board.
Yeah, well, that happened in high school, too. Don't do that anymore. Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to miss that one, but I definitely went out on little excursions. So, this might be hot. Let's check it out. It's creepy. Let's go on the train tracks.
Right.
I definitely had some interesting things, but that's so like how when it first started happening when you were young, did you know that it was gift related? Did you think that there was something wrong with you? Did you have a problem relating that to anybody, or was it something you kind of kept to yourself?
Well, I definitely kept it to myself. And like you learn as you get older, it runs in families. And my mom has gifts too, but hers are just definitely dimmed down and shut off because she's just in the whole like religious world. So, and that's okay. That's her thing. That's okay. But I didn't call them gifts when I was little because like I saw my great grandmother when she died, and I wasn't really close to her because she was quite old and dementia by the time I was like a little girl. But she came to me when she died, and she presented herself in like this cardboard box, and her hair was sticking out of the box, and I knew it was her, but I also knew she was dead. And so I'm like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, something. And so I just sat in the corner of my bed, like with blankets over it, like terrified for months.
Right.
And this just went on for months. And I look back on it now, and she just did not understand that she was dead. And she was literally trying to ask me, why am I in a box? But I was a little girl and I didn't understand I'm a medium, and somebody's trying to just ask me a question,
Right. Now, what was that your first experience, or was your first experience something a little scarier for you?
Yeah. There's always monsters in the closet. There's always. Always told my mom that, always, and there was. There was always something tormenting me, yeah. And I had to
Would it,
get rid of those bad things as I got older.
how would you see them? Would you see them sort of as an aberration that you can make out its features, or would it be something of an aura thing?
No, I could see them with my eyes. They were, like, dark and shadowy, and yeah, so I've always had negative things around me even when I was little, and there's 1, because 'cause I'm an empath, I'm a target for it, but 2, I'm a medium and I'm a kid, so I'm a target for it. So, yeah, if you don't have parents that know what's going on and know how to protect you, it, like, takes you a long time to figure things out.
I can imagine.
Yeah. It's like, "I'll just hide in my room, I don't know." You don't know what to say to people, like, how do you tell your parents that? Like, who's gonna understand that?
So, was there anybody that you did come across while you were younger, or was it not until you were much, much older that you found you could really relate to anybody with how you were feeling in any way?
Yeah, so as I got older, like, I've just always been me, and I just never have cared what people thought about me. I'm just different. I don't think like people do. I never have. I don't
Mm,
people very well. I mean, I do because I'm a social person, but like to be around people for a very long time that I don't know, then it's just draining. And I'm like, let's just go home.
Right. I don't
So,
like
mm.
Walmart either.
so it's like, but once you start to put out there what you want out of life, like I want to figure out what this is and what I can do with it and what all of my gifts are, then people start to come into your life that are there to help you. It's just weird how that happens. You put it out there and then it just comes.
So
Right.
you were
Right.
So
kind of just dolo for a
yeah.
while and just kind of like feeling things out and trying to just tread water essentially until you kind of realized, okay, let me kind of bring in that which I'm seeking to help me kind of figure this out.
Yeah, and you have to figure out who your guides are on like the other side and who your protectors are and how to protect yourself and like I just started because I can hear them too. So like I'll just have conversation, but I had to like learn how to be like wait your turn. Like
Mhm.
this isn't like an all night like party, just come in the door anytime you want. I had to like learned like no you're going to stay and wait your turn and like this is my space and this is my life and I'll get to you when I
Mhm.
can kind of
Was that
attitude.
something that you started before you had met people? Like, was that kind of like because it started so early was and you were a target because of your vulnerability and whatnot, not having that protection? Did you find yourself kind of naturally kind of figuring things out before you kind of got that direction and that kind
Yeah, like I would always like what ended up happening is the opposite of what you really want to happen. I started to put walls up instead of borders or like barriers,
of,
walls because walls are emotional too. So yeah. So when you do that,
gotcha.
then it just makes everything worse. So, like, in my 30s, that's when it was in, like, the epiphany, the turning of, like, "Oh, okay, this can be different. This doesn't have to be like this. I don't have to be under attack all the time, and, I can get this under control." And you have those friends that you call and be like, "What the when something happens, like, "Can I cuss on you guys'
Right.
show? Can I?"
Yeah.
Yo, you
Okay.
can definitely.
Yeah. Be
Like
you can be you.
like, nothing shocks me much, I've seen a lot of stuff, but you still just have those things where you're like, "What the fuck was that?" And it takes your mind, like, weeks to process, and you're just like,
Right.
"Okay,
Yeah.
well, now there's that, okay." You know? So it just
Now,
keeps increasing.
when you came in backstage, you walked in on us in a brainstorming session about horror movies, nonetheless. What if you could compare your experiences to a movie that maybe got it right? What would that movie be?
horror movie gets it right.
I'm glad you said that, and I'm glad that it's not The Sixth Sense.
No,
I'm glad that
I'd
I'm
see
glad it
dead
has nothing to do
people.
with Bruce Willis.
I
No.
would have thought more of Doctor Sleep.
Yeah, they all. Sorry, I have dogs, and you
Yeah,
might hear a
perfectly
random
fine.
bird around. But yeah, they all just over dramatize. Even the ones that are based on true stories, like the Annabelle or the Conjuring or all of that. None of that shit that's in those movies actually happened and went down like that.
Right. Or
Like,
else they would be taking her out of the case to make TikToks.
yeah. It's like,
Really? They did that?
Yeah, bro.
right.
You didn't hear that?
Sheesh.
Yeah.
No. Maybe that's why things are so crazy. I don't know.
Welcome to 2023.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was like the one, like the haunting in Connecticut or something like that. Like
Yeah.
the real story of that is nothing like that. Like, oh my
It's
gosh, it
not.
was
No,
so
it's
horrible.
very much of rape and adultery.
It's just like
Yeah.
there was no
It was
bodies
not good.
flying out of the walls
It's
and things
okay.
crazy.
Right. It
Yeah.
was just good marketing on a
I
lie of
know.
a film.
See,
Yeah.
I got dogs too. Hold on one second.
Now, in that regard, is there anything you've ever come across on the internet or otherwise? Because there's always people taking those homegrown videos or putting up those experiences that you've seen that you've either thought, like, oh, I know that that's real, or have you not really ever come across homegrown things that kind of show or have validated other things that you've seen or felt?
Well, anytime I watch anything on TV, especially if it's paranormal, I'm always telling. I talk out loud to myself. I think out loud a lot. It's just me. But I'm saying what's happening at this spot before like the psychic even shows up or whatever's going on. It's just kind of
Gotcha.
comical, but like I don't appreciate those kind of shows. Well, I won't name the show specifically, but this group of dudes are very irresponsible with how they handle things and do things and put people in danger.
It's
So
probably a show with the name Ghost in it.
yeah,
Probably has the name Ghost.
yeah. I've watched them put just ordinary citizens that are just trying to tell their story in like peril, and they just don't care. And that's
Interesting.
and they mess and taunt with the dead, and like these are people, whether they were a good person or a bad person. These are people. Like, how would
Right.
you like somebody rolling up in your pad, or if you were in prison or some mental asylum, be yelling and screaming at you and demanding things, and like, and they're just everything is dark. Everything they deal with is dark. So therefore, you can't expect that stuff to not constantly be affecting your life.
Right.
Especially the main guy of that show, he's immersed in it 24/7. He does his museum that he's got full of all of that stuff. He does all of his other shows that like he's even said that he does nothing else but that. So it's
When
got to be affecting him in a
hype with the
negative way.
private chat, so now I have to know who's reckless. Don't worry, I won't blast them out either, but I want to know.
I'm begging to know. But in that kind of same lane, because it's kind of one, it's interesting to know that they have come across things that are legit. I've definitely like
Oh,
because
it's legit.
I've seen that show and some others, and some episodes versus others. It seems to be like something you can definitely tell. Like, okay, that there's definitely something going on here versus others, at least to me.
Yeah.
But have you ever seen like YouTube videos or like viral videos like that have ever come up of people showing things have been like, oh, I've seen those or I've experienced kind of something like that?
I don't watch a lot of social media. I know I have to use it for work, but no offense to everybody that does it. I just get sick of watching idiots on social media 24/7, and I just can't do it. So
That's
yeah.
completely valid.
But I have seen some footage on like Gaia, the Gaia app, and different documentaries about like aliens and things where people have caught things on security footage, and I could literally feel the energy from it. I'm like, oh, that thing's freaking real. Yeah. Or
That's
like,
kind of more what I was talking about, I guess. Like those types of videos, if you've seen anything like that. I
yeah,
forgot about Gaia. Gaia's a good one
yeah.
for sure.
Or like Bigfoot videos, like sometimes you're like, that's not fucking, and then you're like, that's
What
real.
about the newest Bigfoot video? That one looks kind of.
Oh, the Colorado
there-
one. Yeah, I just saw
Yeah,
that.
there's something there. There's something there. I don't.
They just dug down and blended in.
There's a two things there. There's a little one there too.
Was there? I
Oh,
didn't get-
really?
I gotta.
It looked like it to me anyway, but yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and check it out now.
Oh, we're gonna
Do a
check it out
little
right
scrutiny.
Yeah, it looks
Oh,
like
alright.
the ones here, then there's like a little one, like hunched with the back towards out. But yeah, that's what it looks like to me. But yeah,
You know, cryptids are a very interesting thing as well, although they're a little bit in a different vein. But so
not as much as you think. Well, I mean, some of them are just because they're undiscovered species, but some of them walk through dimensions and portals and things. So some of them are a little bit
Right,
different.
which Bigfoot is one of those.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Maybe
Now,
there's,
see the
like,
big one.
It was like a picture that somebody took, and it was like a still, and it was closer, and yeah. But everybody's reacting.
oh yeah, no, it actually did look like there might have been another one.
Yeah. It was just for a second. I could totally be wrong on that, but yeah. I would be so cool. I envy those people on that. It's on a train or something. That was awesome.
Right? If they had a Samsung, they could have zoomed in farther. Now, would like mermaids be something in that same lane? Because there's also been a lot of things that have popped up in recent years regarding like mermaids and just certain happenstances and like the sea and things like that. So is that kind of perhaps what's going on? Is there's like a interdimensional connection going on?
There's definitely interdimensional connection. I don't know for sure about mermaids, but I do just literally say I don't dismiss anything. I believe anything can exist. That's kind of the way I flow. So, yeah.
Now, when you say that, are you talking more of like multiversal type of things, or are you talking about outside of the firmament and there's other lands that they're coming from?
Both. Yeah. So like there's like extraterrestrial aliens and those kinds of beings, which is part of the Akashic records and getting your lineage there, but just different things that pass in between dimensions and come into our Earth space besides ETs. Like even coyotes can do it.
Wow.
Yeah. Like there's even, you were talking about skinwalkers when I popped in. Like there's somebody would have to Google it and find it because I wouldn't know where to find
Jamie?
it. I can't remember which investigative team was doing a something out at Skinwalker Ranch somewhere.
Oh, I remember. I seen a lot of Skinwalker Ranch.
Video of a portal of like this road, and all of a sudden this coyote just comes out of freaking nowhere and it's there and just keeps trotting down the road, and like it's like, okay. There you go. And
But I could be lying to myself.
Yeah. So just different coyotes actually freak me out in general. If I'm out in nature and I hear coyotes, I'm like, oh, some shit's gonna go down. Like we need to prepare.
They sound crazy. They do not make you feel
No. They
like
they
wolves.
always
Yes, it's terrifying, but a coyote
wolves
just
are
sounds like it's
different.
crazy.
Now wolves are like, I could totally just sit there and listen to wolves, but coyotes, I'm always like, something's freaking coming. Something's freaking coming.
Now, you mentioned the Akashic records. How did you kind of get into that?
So I'm always a person that never stops asking why. Like why? Like my mind I just never stop. So because I have all these gifts, because I can see all these things, I knew that, like, I've literally said I'm an alien since I was a little kid because I just don't fit in with people, and so
Do
I would
you
just always say that.
alien or do you mean a star seed?
Well, I am technically a starseed, but when I was little, I would just say, like, I'm an alien, but technically, yeah, I am. But, yeah, and so just because of that, like, I just always knew it was there kind of thing, and then I learned that the Akashic records have been open and you can now access them, and so I was, like, immediately like, "Let's get in on that for sure."
How would you begin to even access that?
Well, people's past lives on this earth, I could just see them, and I would just tell them those things in readings because that affects your life in this life too, your past lives. But you have to there's a certain process you have to go through to access them, and, like, and you definitely have to be in, like, a calm state of mind and a peaceful state of mind and be able to listen, and it's you ask a question and then you wait for the answer. And they present themselves in different ways to different people. So what they are is like the record of every living thing ever, energy ever throughout all the universes of all time. So
Wow.
your energy reincarnates, and so it's in the records, and you actually write your own records. You write your own life. So that's why there's possible futures. So you can take your all of your pasts and change all of that around and make a better future.
Wow. So, are you able to see those multiversal timelines and where one would be able to go, or the path one is on now?
Yeah. It, so like, I have a actually don't have it in my room with me right now. What I do it's not automatic writing because automatic writing is where you let someone write through you. I'm actually listening and then writing down what I'm getting. So before I even meet the person, I ask them for a picture and their name and date of birth because you have to have that for the Akashic records. And that's all I ask for. And I just have pages and pages and pages of things on the person before I even meet them. And then I'll put it in a PDF if it's an online customer client and then send it to them so that they have it. If it's a live reading, I just kind of read out of my book that I am like doodling and sketching. Some of it's drawings, some of it like whatever comes in my head. But yeah, when you have to like specifically like ask to go into the Akashic records and I'm going in for this person or even yourself, and then you start asking the questions you want to know about why you can even ask why things happening to you, all kinds of fun things.
Is it something that somebody who isn't an empath can access?
Well, not just anybody can access them because you have to be in the right place, like vibrationally and energy wise to do it. But other than that, yeah, anybody can learn how to do it. And anybody can talk to the masters in there. Yeah.
I'll let you hear that. We may have a chance, man. We just got to put our minds to it.
So, like, once you go in, though, they make the rules, and like me reading my own, there's
Hey,
times
I know
where
you don't like my voices. Chill out.
it's like times where it's like, no, you're not ready to talk about that yet. And it's like, okay, and you just have to let it go and move on to the next thing, and I'll learn about that later. You have to not. You're not in control at all. Basically, you're just asking for information, and that's what you get.
So, if it doesn't want to give you the information, you won't get it.
Yeah, if you're not ready, they'll say you're not ready.
Well, are there things that you've tried to access that you wish you hadn't accessed?
No, everything happens for a reason, and I always just wanna learn new things, so bad things are gonna happen no matter what you do in life, so I just go for it.
Is there
And I
anything?
do it safely. Like I ask for protection and all of my guides and everything before I do anything. But that doesn't mean that something can't hurt me, and that doesn't mean that it hasn't.
Have you ever
Are
seen?
there?
Oh, go ahead, Tyler.
I was just gonna ask. Is there any mistakes that you could share that maybe aren't too detailed, or like you could just advise for people who may be looking into it to be kind of aware of in that regard? Because I imagine people are
Anything
like, "Oh, let
that's
me just start asking," and not really think about the other part.
yeah, anything that's negative, I had to learn this the hard way because our reactions of as people when something happens to us that's like startling or we don't know what it is fear, and then which turns into like some kind of anger or annoyance or something, but it's not a positive reaction. But if you're encountering anything negative, if you react like that, that's exactly what it wants. So if you're not just a happy zen person that knows who you are inside, like you're just a prime target to be messed with all the time. So the only way to counteract those kinds of spirits or aliens, there are that side of aliens too. They actually control that part of the spirit world. But is with just love and peace and knowing yourself and like blocking it out instead of with anger and a showdown and like that's exactly what they want. They want the fight, they want the anger, they want you to get mad, they want you to be afraid.
You want all the smoke.
Yeah, exactly. Like how much shit can we stir up in this pot right now with this person? That's exactly what they do. Yeah.
Because if they
Have
can
you
stir up the pot, you can't calm down. If you can't calm down, you can't really do what you need to do and get better and get
Yeah.
apart from them.
Yeah. If you just keep your life in the same pattern, then yeah, that's exactly where you're gonna stay. And I didn't want to stay there. And once negative spirits know who you are, they all know who you are because it works like a hive mind. So yeah, you have to like raise your vibrations and get to a better spot in your life to like keep those things away from you. Yeah. So Ouija board, yeah, I played with one of those in high school, and then crazy stuff has started to happen after that as far as negative stuff. But then it never stopped until I like made it stop.
For copyright reasons, after the show, I'll tell you some of the things that happened to me growing up with those Ouija boards. We did outrageous things like play in the cemetery.
Yeah, you really outrageous. This man's over here like, "What you banging at my door?" And then says that.
Well, I grew up on a block in the Bronx that my backyard basically was the cemetery. So, and it was the big Woodlawn Cemetery. There are people from the 20s there. It's unbelievable.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I hope they're all okay. Ouija boards in the cemetery. I'm always like, I hope the spirits are like resting and okay. Like, hope he didn't stir anything up.
I
But
hope not either, but I don't know. I'll let you be the judge of that later.
can't wait
This
to hear
guy.
the story.
Me too.
Yeah, I blamed mine on Kmart. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, well,
that doesn't
when
exist anymore. I'm like totally aging myself, but yeah, ours came from like
Oh no,
whatever
we all remember
game
Kmart
maker
here.
from Kmart. Like
it wasn't too long ago that a Kmart existed. I'd
I
say
know.
I remember when Kmart had Little Caesars in it, so I feel you.
well, when you buy this world opening device at a children's store in the children's section, it's kind of
Yeah.
Suspect.
tempting you to do it.
Well, and the thing is though, it's marketed as a game still to this day because spiritualists used to use it as a game. Like I used to have a lot of spiritualists back in my family. And they would do a lot of seances and Ouija boards, and they'd make them themselves, like out of glasses and different things like that. But it was a game to them,
Now,
and they
they used
loved
to
it.
believe that's more dangerous than buying one. How true is that?
It's all it. Once you make one, you make one. Whatever wants to come through that is gonna come through that. And I would never sit with one unless I knew that person was a Ouija board master. And there's not very many of those around. So
Ouija
yeah.
master. That doesn't sound like an accolade I want.
No. I'll just leave that to them.
I am the Ouija master.
They like know how to control what comes through there and know how to close it safely and all of that stuff. So yeah.
Perfect. You shall not pass.
It's like put that on your resume. Oh, Ouija master.
Right?
Sounds like
It's like,
Dungeons
all right,
and
so
Dragons.
how is being a Ouija master going to help you in our sales department?
Well, bad. You conjure up a fucking spirit and
Just
we'll
get my
see.
Ouija board out, I'll tell you.
Right? Let me see if I can get Steve Jobs here. Steve. Oh, Steve.
That would be so funny.
He comes back and he's like, guys, hold on. Can you stop Apple? They're ruining my name.
Have you ever tried to get an answer and maybe connected with a otherworldly being?
I have daily connections with other worldly beings. Yeah. Once you learn your lineage, they're with you all the time. And they definitely want to make sure the Earth survives. Not the bad part of them, but yeah. And there's a whole bunch of different races of them. And I've kind of descended down through all of them, at least ones that I've gotten through, because it's a whole long story there. But there's a lot of people that have had many different lives throughout the universe before they got to Earth. And then there's people that have just had quite a few past lives on Earth. And then there's people that are really young on Earth that just haven't evolved yet that much. So, yeah.
Generation Z.
Would it be at all?
I'm sorry, could I ask her a quick question?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Regarding like seeing and like interacting with different beings and entities, do you see them like, say, I'm seeing the screen here, or do you see them in the sense that you see them in your mind's eye and perhaps they're not physically present, but you literally see them, type of a deal?
You can see them
make them out.
I have it both ways. That sounded weird.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see them with my eyes, but I see them when I close my eyes and meditate too.
Ooh.
So, like, what if, like, say I was looking over to the right and nothing was there, but like I could see it and like I could sense it. I know it's there.
Yeah.
I can acknowledge it. I know it sees me, but like there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Is that like more of a mind's eye sense? Because that's something I've had for a very long time. And I've noticed that depending on where I'm living, different intensities of what's around and what tries to come around changes.
So one, you're an empath. Yeah. Use those skills to your benefit. You can read people, so. But they can wipe you out too. But you're probably a medium. You probably need to have a reading, but that's okay. I'm in my own ride. But yeah, you're definitely an empath, and you could definitely read people. So that's why every time you go somewhere, like, you could read the energy in the room. Doesn't matter how big the crowd is. Yeah. For sure.
Okay.
And with spirits. If there was like negative spirits in some place, if you rolled up on some place and it was like a brand new building, but you walked up to it and you were like, you would feel it. You'd be like, I don't know, the vibe of this place. Yeah.
When I was a kid and we were looking for a house in Waterbury, I had those vibes in various houses.
Yeah.
Well,
And there was one particular old Victorian house that my parents almost bought
Yeah,
that I did
careful
not
with
like.
those.
Yeah, I was like, nah, I don't like the
walked
vibe
into
about
those
this
looking for
part.
an apartment in Waterbury, and I thought I was gonna die just from the sheer feeling of walking into that apartment. I ran out of that apartment, ran into the car, and drove so fast down a small street. I thought I was gonna hit somebody.
The realtor must have been
Yeah.
like, what's going on?
No, it was one of those. I knew there was something wrong because it was one of those I'll leave you the code at the door kind of thing. You go up, you take a look at the apartment by yourself. And as soon as I walked into that place, I knew I did not want to be there. Honestly,
Yeah.
as soon as we drove up, I left my wife in the car and I went up. I was like, no, there's no way.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
See, you guys both
Yeah.
have it. How many times have you seen
wife-
spirits, Jason?
What was that?
How many times have you seen spirits?
Not often. My wife more than anything.
Ah,
She kind of dabbles in that realm there. I think I see other things, but I'm just crazy.
you're not crazy.
We got the shinin, mate. We got the shinin.
Now we had
Copyright purposes.
last week we had another psychic medium on, and she kind of described seeing the future in two parts, kind of like similar to That's So Raven, in flashes it comes when needed, or while she's asleep. How do you tap into that?
I am not one of those people that have futuristic dreams. But I literally just get information. I see it, or I hear it, or I feel it, and part of the reason that there's a long story behind my Akashic records, but I'm literally here to help planet Earth survive and the people survive. So there's very specific things that I did to get here at this specific time. So there's repercussions for those things that I did too. But you learn these things, and it's actually quite it's intense. So you got to be ready for the information download, but it's awesome at the same time because you're like, that makes sense. Like even things that with alien lineage, in my life, like I'm trying to get my business to grow, but as a person, like in this earth, I remember my past lives, even as in alien worlds, very vividly, and one of them is called Lyra Vega, and those are the ones that look like cats. But the place was very utopian. Not greed, not money, not wars, not anger, not all of this stuff. It's very prominent in my brain. So I have a real aversion to money and greed. And so I literally had to go through a process mentally and having conversations with these Lyra Vega that I've been with in order to reconcile in my mind how I would be comfortable making a lot of money. And the only way that I would be is to be able to have it, to take it and like cleanse it energetically, not like launder it, like whatever they do with that, not that, but like cleanse it energetically and then send it back out there to do good. So like that's one of the things that came out of like me exploring my past lives, that I'm like, that makes total sense because I have an aversion to something. How am I going to bring it to me when I'm repelling it? You know what I mean? Yeah.
I do know what you mean. And on just, sorry, I know you have something to ask, Jay, but you mentioned you're not a person that has dreams of the future. I have had many dreams throughout my life of certain things throughout the future, specifically future events, usually with various types of catastrophe and other things happening, and I survive. So I just find
I'm
that
just
very.
avoided. I just like avoid. I get directed in different directions for those kind of things rather than have dreams about them. But like I just get told like this is what's going to happen in your future. And I don't know, I just see it or I get told, or if it's about somebody else or if a spirit comes to me, I just, yeah, I never have dreams that I have are normally, I can't, it's hard to describe my dreams. I go somewhere else in my dreams. They're not earthly dreams. Yeah. So, yeah. Unless they're stress dreams, that's a whole different deal. But yeah, we all have those.
Very, yeah. Yes, indeed. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jake, because I just have various questions that are honestly self-servicing because I'm just very much curious. Anyway, go ahead.
It's all good. If you have another question,
Keep asking.
Well, no, I've just because I've had dreams throughout my entire life. They've been very interesting, and like I've had dreams where I've landed on, like, I literally came down in a spaceship and I helped a group of Vikings fight off other Vikings, and like I slowed down time and it was amazing. And like they were
Oh
being
boy, we need to talk. You
I've,
would be
I've,
so much fun in a reading. Oh my gosh. We need to talk.
my girlfriend actually sent a message on here. She's like, "Would you be interested in a meeting?" I'm interested. Which I would be. But anyway, I'm just because I've had that. I had a dream that I saw my father as a child walking with his mom and the rest of his brothers, and she told him, "Don't forget your Bible." And he walked off, and then like I went into a town that was filled with people of faces that I knew, but then I went to, it was like the CIA, and they were looking into ghosts and the paranormal, and
Yeah,
they
they
were
did do that.
like doubting the existence of it. And somebody who I just floated in and just knew was a good guy was getting berated over like his work because they weren't believing it. And I got really angry, and my energy like made like stuff rattle and like just go crazy in the room, and it freaked me out. And then that made me, I guess, more aware, and it like freaked me out of the dream. I've been chased through dream sex before, and like by some entity when I made myself self-aware. So I did like a spinning motion, so that way I was like acutely in my dream, and immediately I was chased, and I somehow
I
jumped through
will say
portals.
yes,
Yes.
you can do portals. I can do portals. I'm very yes. You got to be careful. I've had
Well,
dreams
I
where I've been held down and I cannot wake up and I'm literally fighting things off of me. I have those dreams, but not for a very
I've
long time.
well, I jumped into one where something acknowledged what I was doing and asked me how I got there. And I said, I don't know, but something's
Okay.
chasing me. Can you help me
So
out? And he's like, they pointed me to a door, and I remember leaving. And then I think I woke up after that. But I've had many, many dreams over time, and I apologize, just kind of rattling them off. But I
no,
felt like you kind of would
you
probably pick up
can
on things.
astral project and definitely do portals and all kinds of things. So you got to be careful because your energy can unlock one of those suckers and yeah. And if you could control time in the past, you can do it now. So you're part of this whole starseed movement. So you need to understand that gift.
I definitely have had inclinations that I've had gifts, and I do actively speak against negative energies and like put protections upon myself and just speak and reach out to my higher level of me if I feel like I don't know what's going on to just take care of me.
Yeah.
And when I'm walking from my car to my home, sometimes I'll feel an energy that's malevolent behind me that's trying to get up me, and I'll see in my mind like me taking care of it, and just starting a spinning wheel of an infinite amount of ways that I'm stopping it from trying to get to me, and I just continue on, and it gets stuck, and like I don't feel the energy anymore. Or if I've been alone and I'll feel more things, like more energies trying to creep in, and I'll call in just like, whoever's cool, come chill tonight. If you're not cool, do not chill, because those people are gonna take care of you. I'm not even gonna. You're not gonna get a rise out of me, type of energy. And I've always noticed things there, and I've always been like, I'm not crazy, but how can I express this to somebody that's gonna know what I'm talking about?
Have you ever lost time during the day?
Yeah.
Is that a big thing? Because that happens to me all the time. Like today, I drove a half an hour outside of my job and don't know how I missed my exit.
Yep. That happened. That's an ET thing. So both of you have a lot of stuff in your Akashic records. I can just feel it. And they're making contact with you. So
is there a way, if we cut to a small commercial break, that you could give us a small mock reading?
A mock reading? Yeah.
Okay.
It won't be yours, but I could show you what happens and what I can bring up, and I can send you a file of one that I've done so that you can see what they look like.
Yeah, come on, man. Don't be that self-serving. Help her out. She just explained it's hard for her to get money. Let's give her the money she's earned.
Understand?
Like I'm totally like reading you guys and tapping into you, but one, I have two of you in front of me at one time, and both of you have a lot of gifts and have had a lot of lives. And so that's why when I read people, I'm literally like, give me your picture, give me your name, give me your birth date, give me 2 weeks.
You know what?
And I will get back to you.
Just for the record, you haven't even seen my face.
No.
Like, hi. I don't know if you can see me at all. Hi.
There we go.
I'm in my car. It's still kind of. Hi.
You're all like, what do I look like? Yeah.
You know what? Jay has pictures of me. I don't know why I even did that. He has better photos of what I actually look like. I'm over here giving you like a slight scary clown face in the dark. It's like, this is what I look like. That's
Please
terrifying.
don't do that. If you do that or show up with a doll, I'm off this podcast. I'm out.
the double blue electronics brand better not try to get at me for no copyright. You bringing that shirt on here?
What? Man, that's called free advertisement. They should be paying her and then giving us some of that residual.
We'll go. We'll go to just a small 90-second commercial break, and if you want, you can send me that. We'll pull it up on screen so we can see just exactly how you do it before we let you get back to your busy, exciting. I can't even find the words to describe your life.
I know.
This was the break room, bro.
I'm a weirdo.
No, you're not a weirdo.
But I fly that freak flag. Like I'm like, oh yeah.
So if you're to categorize yourself as a weirdo, you're one of those fascinating weirdos who need to be in a fairy tale somewhere. We need to learn about like Star Wars is a real fucking thing, I believe, somewhere along the galaxies. And we're getting those stories now as stories on screen. That's the stories that people in other galaxies need to see of you.
They already know me. They know me very well.
See?
She was in episode 7. It was better.
Well, introduce them to a word from our sponsors.
Hey.
Let me tell you guys about these new Dizzle edibles. Now, I know you probably heard of the drink, and just like the drink, these edibles are the truth. I'm typically a smoker, and I usually like to do it before I drive to take some of the angst off this LA traffic. But with these edibles, I don't even think about rolling up. I don't have to worry about the aroma when I get out of the car, my eyes being red. I just pop in one and I'm good to go. I'm feeling happy and ready to just take on my day. Each edible comes with 25 milligrams. You get 10 in a package, which is more than enough because, again, all you need is one and it'll get you right.
It's time for all things cereal. Games with cereal. We try cereal and we let you know. So if you love cereal, we love cereal. Super cereal.
We're giving away 1,000 bottles of syrup. If you go to the syrup store at syrup.com and put in the discount code free bottles TikTok, then you can receive a free bottle of syrup. Just pay for shipping. Very easy. We're going to do the first 1,000 bottles.
And I am not fast enough with these things. I'm pulling it up right now.
This man.
What do you want me to do?
Let's do a super chat catch up here. And as he does that, I did have a quick question for you, Raven. If you couldn't give us just kind of like a first step or first couple steps that one should try to take either through meditation or in their life that would help them to gain protection against the things that might be accosting them all the time, if they feel that they might be in a place where they need some type of just start so they can kind of breathe and get going.
So first, it's like literally picture a bubble around you, but you fill it with everything that's comforting and loving and light. And I put it around me literally all day, every day, until I want to like open myself up and like hear people and, have to do my job. But I actually extended around my whole entire property all day, every day, because I don't want anything coming in my space unless I don't want it there. But that's the first step, is to learn how to do that bubble to protect yourself, especially if you're an empath. You have to just put that bubble out so that everybody else's emotions and feelings are bombarding you at all times. So, yeah.
Now, is that something that it just really is just a matter of stating it in your mind and or out loud, that and like in visualizing it actually happen, like seeing you
like you literally have to like go in yourself, find your energy, your soul, whatever the crap you want to call it, and use it, and then pull in energy and light from the universe and love and people and your guides and anything around you that loves you, and put that in there too. And like literally you're creating a love bubble around yourself is what you're doing. And you don't let even people cross that. If people are assholes and they just don't respect your boundaries, like no. So it's the same way for the spirit world. It's invisible boundary for people and invisible boundary for spirit worlds.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
For those of you that are wondering what one of these readings would look like, we got something here that's going to kind of outline it. And then after I outline it for you, I'm going to tell you exactly where to go to get one yourself and what you're looking at somewhat in price, depending on, I guess, if this is just a base price or not on here. Let's do that right
By
now.
the way, the only reason this is okay with me is because this was another podcaster and he allowed me to do this live and like broadcast it.
This is like HIPAA.
So
it's very private,
it's
right?
okay. Yeah, I treat it like HIPAA because I deal with people's like deep trauma. But this was like put out there for the public and he was okay with that.
Thank you for that. Because
Mr.
some people
Mark
probably
White.
would be a little trepidatious.
Yes, thank you very much for your likeness, Mr. Mark. Mark White, born 11/4/1969. Now, what's the significance of these numericals here?
So I'm not an astrologer. That's too mathematical for me, but I do at least people's numerology number to try to get a sense of what that means in their life. So like he's a number 4, but his birthday is also a 4. So he's a Scorpio. So that made him a 4/4 Scorpio. And so this part I had to Google. This was not me. That the explanation of that specific zodiac. But it came to me after that this person needs to get their astrology chart read because it's very significant because he's a 4/4. So that's why it was important for that.
So here's something that you did do.
Yeah.
Well,
So this was his current life. And some of these things might seem kind of basic of what everybody goes through.
right,
But
kind of a mock one.
it is very specific to him because he's an entertainer and he's going to keep getting bigger, but in his head he had mind blocks. So of I'm not good enough. Like everybody does that to themselves, but he was like this was a specific thing that came up to me for him. So yeah, and it will help his career move forward once he does that.
You said all of that. All of a sudden, my throat got dry.
Sorry.
No, it's not. I don't know where that came from. That was weird.
Chakra. Yeah, chakra's acting up.
By the way, if I ever get it like a tickly feeling in my throat, that's normally like some kind of ET around, and it's their environment that I'm picking up. But that's just me. I have different physical reactions to things. So there you
It
go.
wasn't a good feeling either.
I know. No, it's very irritating. Yeah.
Oh.
It's like that tickle in your throat, though. Like, like.
It was very harsh.
Yeah.
All right.
My world.
And
he was a contactee.
Is it? See, I'm a firm believer in there are no coincidences, and you just mentioned the feeling I just had in my throat, and you mentioned extraterrestrial presence for that specific symptom. What are the chances that I would scroll down and first contact would be there?
Yeah, he did not remember this, but I give these to everybody and tell them to keep them as references for the future because you don't always remember everything that's happened to you. And it was a guesstimate on the year and age, but I was seeing his clothes, and so I was putting it in time period, and then I got 1976. But yeah, I just saw him as a kid, like orbs and like, what is that? And pointing. And he's been visited a lot, still to this day.
Wow.
And this was me. When I say I in a reading, it's literally me saying, I can see these. I've been there, done that. But these are some of the beings that have come to him throughout his life. So people might call these the grays or the ebens, but these are more Octurians to him in his life. So they're not the grays, but and then I see different things that's happening to him, like loss of time, things that happen in his dreams. These are common things with ETs, obviously, because I just said it to you guys too, but yeah. And then I come down to, this was very specific to him, to meditate in water, specifically in salt water, like those things they show on Stranger Things where she gets in the bathtub with the salt water and the goggles, and that shit's real. That sensory deprivation is very real, and that will take him a lot farther, and he's gonna get an information download.
Wow.
And I literally put farther down here, he's gonna pop like Neo on the Matrix, like he's gonna be like, like, yeah.
There's always been a part of me that wanted to take some psychedelics and get into a deprivation tank.
Careful which ones. If you take like LSD, you're just gonna like actually hallucinate. If you do shrooms, well then you're just getting the bigger show. Yeah.
We'll leave that one for later.
And then I went into his past lives. He was a shipbuilder in many lives, but it started in the universe he was a shipbuilder when the Octarians had to flee after a war. And his voice is still his mouthpiece in this life. And he was a negotiator in many lives. So built Viking ships, was a Freemason. At one point in this, I tell him that he should look into Freemasonry in this life because it is an ascension process. I don't know all the secrets and ins and outs and never will because I'm a chick, but I know it's not some evil secret society, and I know it does help people get clear. So I recommended that to him because that was like whispered in my ear. So
It's crazy because I've always kind of been drawn to that. I never knew how to get in.
you have to know. I know you have to know somebody to
Right.
get you in. Yeah, that's my bird. Sorry.
Hello, pretty birdie.
The bird said he knows somebody.
And then this is not the tools that I saw, but I saw really old Mason tools, like the old woodwinds that they would have used. So this guy was in the Revolutionary War time. He was Freemason.
He built chairs with Jesus.
And that I got because of his life in the Revolutionary War. I haven't dug into very far of this stuff because this was a free reading just for a podcaster. Normally they're a lot longer than this, but he did venture into the Hellfire Club with some of our peeps from America, like Ben Franklin, Thomas Jefferson. There was a lot of founding fathers that were members of the Hellfire Club. But yeah.
Kind of like Skull and Bones.
Yeah. Oh no, Skull and Bones. I don't know about that one. But this was his main alien lineage that I got. So I let him know about the Octarians, which is a big one. And what they want him to do with his life and his voice and the platform that he has.
Somebody tell him not to watch that new movie on Netflix, or he's not gonna like this.
There's what's the new movie on Netflix?
I'll show you in a second.
Okay. Like what I missed.
Spoil it, man. It's fine. I don't think either of us mind.
So this is one of the ships that the Octarians built. They basically built their own biospheres because they had to flee. So within this ship is like everything they need to sustain life. And so they wandered around as nomads for a while and went to different galaxies with different peeps, different aliens, whatever. You know, there was blended societies just like America.
Where is it? Where is it now? I hate when you're looking for something and you can't see it. There it is. Okay.
And then I just get into people's psychic gifts, what they could do, and what could be dangerous, and what they should hold off on. You know, like I have one client that, like, always like, no, you're staying stationary because you are in danger. You know, but yeah,
Right.
not that I can make her do what. That means her life. If she wants to run off and be in danger, then you know.
Well, we need to make
prerogative, but
we need to make hypnotism a part of your forte, so
yeah,
that way you can have these people slow down a little bit.
Everybody has their right to choose.
Right.
Yeah, so that's just kind of the end of his. And like I said, this was a free one, so it's kind of short. But yeah.
So
normally I get into more and more detail. Like I would be like, hey, what about this shipbuilding and these other lives? And let me see it. Let me get the details. And who was this person? And yeah.
We'll let you know how it works, people. You have to go to the link provided to you, which I am going to throw in the chat right now. So be sure to click hundreds of thousands of times. Get those website views up. Those matter. This is how your sessions are going to work, right? They're usually done over Zoom or live if you're local.
Yeah.
It costs $200. Like she described before, she's going to ask for a photo of you for the reading. If you want your Akashic records read, she also needs your full name, date of birth. If you don't know what it is, she could. Who doesn't know what their birth date is?
Some people are adopted, and
Okay.
they've
Makes-
asked if that's a problem, and I'm like, nope, just get me the information you've got.
Talon, was that a problem you had when you got adopted?
This man over here, when I got adopted, man, you should be happy that I came to this planet.
Before you come to your session, she's gonna read you. She's gonna read you and take notes. Those notes are shared with you at the time of your session and written up in a PDF and sent to you. Sessions normally last around 2 hours, sometimes less, but she can never rush her sessions. And she hopes to see you soon.
Yeah, and everybody asks, like, why do you charge people for this? Well, one, it takes a lot of time and my energy. Two, I have to recover from some of these sessions and people, so I have to go buy stuff to recover.
Right.
Three, I have to travel sometimes because people want to do parties. Like, it's a business. You know?
My thing is people don't ask the plumber or the electrician or the carpenter why he charges so much for labor. Now this is the same thing. This is the price for your labor and the price for your sacrifice and energy. So if you guys got a problem with paying for the service, you can do two things. One, you can kiss ass, because my wife don't like me to tell you guys to suck dick, because you can do that too. Or you can go to her store and buy these wonderful pieces of art.
Everything, I just call it the top of that. Just the paint the woman on fire is for sale. The one on top is mine. Yeah.
The fire goddess is calling
Raven, would you say that a reading takes you at least 20 hours of work to do?
At least, yeah.
Okay, so just to break it down for you folks, she's getting about $10 an hour for your shit. So be happy that she's only charging you that much.
Right. Because some of y'all motherfuckers go to fast food restaurants, they get paid more than that to give you the slop that you fucking pay for, and you're okay with it. So shove it down your gullet.
All the food is poison, but you're happy to pay for it. But she's like, oh, give me nothing.
Right.
Give me nothing for my time. And you want to be like, yeah,
The
I don't
only
know.
time I say give me nothing for my time is if I know somebody is in like some deep serious shit and they just don't have any money, and I'm like, get your ass over here. I don't care. Yeah. But you know, I'm the judge of when I'm being taken advantage of.
Right.
You know?
Because it's ultimately everything is yours. You know what I mean? Yeah. The reading is theirs in spirit, in reading, but it's all yours. It's information that you choose to provide them, just like the records that you're reading their stuff from. If they are choosing to provide it to you, which therefore you're choosing to provide to the client, so you don't have to indulge in any of that.
So people need to think of it, you know, just like you were talking about a plumber. Well, they're using their physical strength to perform a job. I'm using a lot of energy to perform mine. So it wears me out just as much, but in a different way.
Right. And before we let any of these suckers here waste any more of your energy, so we know you're a busy woman, you have a lot to recharge at the end of the day. Is there anything that you want to tell the people listening or watching right now? Just anything, your message to the world or to anybody that may need some guidance.
Well, obviously the world is in serious crisis right now, and the best thing that everybody can do for everybody is to just stop being so freaking angry and just hostile and wanting to jump on everybody and attack everybody and just all it like everybody needs to spread love and put their devices down and say hey to people and how ya doing and just spread that positivity and start raising vibrations because the world needs it. And even those little tiny things, it makes a difference in people's lives. It's like I bug the hell out of people when I go in the store. I'm like, hey, how you doing? What's up? Just like I like make people engage. Like, come on. Yeah. So those things are important to stay connected.
Very much. Very, very much. Now make sure you take that link and run with it. Give it to everybody because everybody should know their past life readings. Everybody should know a snippet of their future and why they're being dicks. Yeah. Stop being a dick. Get your reading done.
Honestly, I've said this on the show before. Like, if everybody just like, how do I change the world? Whatever you're doing, ask yourself, am I being a dick right now? And if the answer is not easily no, reassess what you're doing. Yeah. It's really that easy.
Everybody goes through shit in their life that they regret, or it doesn't matter what it, unless you're like Ted Bundy or some shit. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like everybody, it doesn't matter, even if you.
That's my last name, so it's funny you said Ted Bundy.
Okay, sorry, was not.
No, I know. I did. No, I literally think that's really funny that you said that because there's so many examples. And he didn't put my last name, and then he said Ted Bundy. I thought that's pretty funny to me.
I mean, it just everybody needs to realize it doesn't even matter if you got rolled up into prison for something that you did. If you're not that person anymore, that's all that matters. Literally. Period.
Right.
Be righteous.
Well, Raven, thank you very much for coming on. We have to try to set something up where we have you on again because I know we're both in the near future going to get some readings from you, so maybe we can get them done live. Thank you. It's been an honor.
Yeah, I'll be back anytime. I love this. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
It's been a great time.
And if you guys want readings, just email me.
We will.
We appreciate
our website, but yeah.
We're gonna hit you up definitely. And
yeah,
people
you guys got it going on. Yeah, a lot going on. But that's awesome. I don't get very many guys that are like, I want to read you because not an offense to guys, but most guys don't have much going on other than how can I get laid next? And it's like, okay, you know.
Trust me, we have we've noticed. We've noticed.
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah.
You're just like, yeah.
We've noticed. Well, there you have it, guys. Like I said, every week we have another great guest for you. We're going to close this out, and we're going to see Raven in just a second backstage because we can't get enough of her. But it's private, so fuck you guys. Raven, we'll see you in just a second.
Okay.
We are done for 2 weeks for both shows. Don't get sad. We'll be back. We're going to revamp some things. We're going to set some new things up, get some new people on the break room. And we are not new people as in the squad, because I think pretty much the squad is locked down. Would you say so?
It certainly seems like it.
Yeah, we're pretty solid now. But 2 weeks, okay? I'm going to tell you guys a secret. This is what's going to get you past these 2 weeks. I have not put out a episode of The Break Room for about 6 months on Spotify because I've been slacking. Fuck me, right? I've been slacking.
Yes.
Maybe The Break Room for about a month. I mean, Talking Junk for about a month. So you'll have all of that content to take in for these next 2 weeks while we're revamping things, getting you the best elements of what we have now and even greater elements of what we will be. So just wait for that. because it's coming.
That's right.
Talon, any things to say to the people in TV land here before we close things out, my friend?
Well, I guess first of all, you're all welcome for me coming back on the show. I know you've missed me. No, it's been nice being back on the show. Definitely missed doing interviews with you. Hopefully, we can do that more. Hope y'all enjoyed the show, and hopefully, we'll start with this revamp, seeing ourselves expand out to more people. Make sure you share this with folks, because I mean, at the end of the day, who's really more real? Like, I mean, I know there's people who be saying stuff, but you know there's stuff they wouldn't say. There's shit that we be saying that other places that be saying that we real, they wouldn't say that shit. They cut it. So,
I had to
let's
cut
be
him.
us. Yeah, of course you had to do it to me.
It's because I love it. But you gotta hear to Raven's message, man. Don't be dicks, man. Spread cheeks, not hate. We love
That's
you
right.
all.
Don't be dicks. Be righteous.